Afia. Today we will have a material for the 10th grade science subject. Uh, the material will include page 120, 121, 126. The subjects will be included with igneous and metamorphic and sedimentary rocks. First of all, let's see the vocab. It's important for you to understand the lesson. So I advise you to read it well and memorize it so you can understand the lesson well. Let's see, first slide tell us to see the earth layers, which at page 120 at photo A, we can see it here, which is here at the crust is the top layer, and then the mantle, the the outer core, which is liquid, and then the inner core, which is solid. Then we can see the next slide that the igneous rocks created from molten rocks, which is also called magma, which cools down and freezes. So you have to be worried about these information. So the igneous rocks has two types: the extrusive igneous rocks and the intrusive igneous rocks. Extrusive, the most important characteristic or the characteristic of it, which is small crystals and fast cooling. It's created because of fast cooling and it has small crystals. The intrusive igneous rocks, which is also large crystals and slow cooling. So they are opposite to each other. So extrusive igneous rocks. Molten magma cools down fast. It forms igneous rocks containing small crystals. So small crystals because it's cooling down fast. And the basalt is an example of extrusive igneous rocks containing small crystals. You can see it at page 121. So at page 121, we can see the basalt here at picture C. So a thin section of basalt at magnificent of 11. Basalt contains blah, 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 so on. Let's continue. The process of creation, the magma reaches the earth surface, so be careful that the extrusive rocks created at the surface, out of the crust, like in the volcano. It becomes lava and then it cools down quickly in the air or under the water. Extrusive igneous rocks, which is the opposite, magma cools very slowly. It forms igneous rocks containing large crystals, intrusive igneous rocks. Gabbro and granite are example of that. You can see it at photo A, at photo E, page 119. Process of creation. The magma here, the different magma, is trapped underground. So be careful about this underground. It cools very slowly. What does type of the rock depend on? The substance that contained magma or lava, and how it cools or how fast it cools. Then, how the crystals created in the igneous rocks. The rock was liquid. After that, but the particles were free to move. Then the liquid cools down. Forces between particles will cause attraction between them. So regular grid pattern is created. This pattern will start growing more and more. So be careful about the process, how the igneous rocks created. Then, if you want to talk about it more, and the rock cools down slowly, much time. So if it's slowly, much time for large grid pattern to form. So that will cause to have large crystals. It cools quickly, so less time. The pattern will form small crystals and so on. Do the homework, the exercises, be careful about them. They are very important. and also all the pages included. So all the information's in the page included. I tried to add the slides to summarize them. So don't just depend on the slides. Be careful of that. Yeah. So sedimentary rocks, the objectives to explain the sedimentary and so on. The vocab here, try to translate them so you can understand them more and more, and so easy. First of all, moving the water or the air slows down, then the deposit sediments happen. The sediments form layers. After these more layers of sediments are deposits also. The top layers squished bottom layers, so there is a force between them. Grains of sediments become closer. Then the compaction squeezes the water out from the gaps. Be careful this because this is the compaction. Compaction and cementation. The sediments, first of all, compaction and cementation, and then the sediment rocks out the role of cementing like a glue. So this is the definition. So it happens a rule of cementing. Now let's talk about the fossils. Step of creating the fossils. For dead plants, animals root away, and then after this, layers of sediments cover them. Sediments covering the remains change into sedimentary rocks. After that, the remains of the organism turn into rocks, keeping their shapes. So all of that describe the fossils, which is also imprint of the dead plants or animals or organisms. Changing sedimentary to metamorphic, sedimentary rocks gets heated and pressured and then turn to metamorphic rocks. Example of that, the mudstone, heat and compression. After that, turn to slate. After more heat and pressure enough, they are turning twist and nice. Rock cycle are not included in the exam, so it's not homework, which is exercise 1 and 2 at page 126. Book, read it well, it's included, all the information included, and thank you.